So here we are, episode 2. I'm a little bit I'm excited.
We're back.
On the 1 to 10 scale, I'm a solid fucking 7. Is that good?
That's good.
Good.
Love it. Right, I'm just getting you looking handsome.
All right, handsome me up.
Very handsome.
Don't forget the Doris Day filter. You didn't use it last week. I looked
No?
a little red and a little old, which
Ooh.
may have something to do with my old red head. But nonetheless, I want you to weave some kind of cinematographic
No, we're looking good.
magic.
All right, so this week we're going to unpack some of your whiteboard lessons.
Right.
So I guess it's like you can only fit, it's like Twitter, you can only fit 140 something characters.
About 50 words is as many as you can get on the whiteboard before
Okay.
it looks a bit chaotic.
So this is going to be me finding what some of your, I guess, most successful posts based on likes.
All right.
And then I'll read it to you and then we're going to talk about it and find out
Where it
Yeah.
came from, why
Yeah.
did you reckon we maybe should have prepared which ones before
Probably.
we
But
start?
we got it right here. Okay. Stop ignoring what your life is telling you. This is small but straightforward.
Yes,
Straight to
I
the
like it. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Our life and all the bits and pieces of our life, so our relationships, our work, our financial situation, our health, our emotional health, our physical health, our results, the kind of outcomes we produce in our world are all indicators of something. They're all telling us something. And sometimes we don't pay attention to that. And so we kind of miss out. So, I guess the obvious one is, which translates into the rest of our life, but the obvious one is that our body is, apart from being our body, the place where we live, it's also a biofeedback system. So it's always giving us signals and signs and information that it's our job to do something with something intelligent. So, if we're overweight, there's a message. If we've got high blood pressure, there's a message. If we're exhausted, there's a message. If our wee looks like Coca-Cola, there's a message. If we haven't had a poo since February, there's something going. You know what I mean? It's like our body. It's not magic. There's something going on, but in our culture, sometimes what we do, not just with our body, but with other things, is we just numb out. We go, something's going on, but rather than trying to get to the cause and fix it, I'll just take this thing which will mask it.
All right, I like it.
Well, I'll do my best. Thanks.
This is another short one, but I know it did really well. Once upon a time, there was you. You're getting really deep here.
Well, that's philosophical. Well, I guess I wrote that because
Hang on, did this come to you in one moment?
Yeah.
You were sitting there.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I was up on a mountain. It was a bit Jesus-esque. I was just, considering the world.
No, seriously.
I mean, once upon a time there was you. I'm kind of alluding to the fact that you and your life is a story to be written. And so what my life looks like, what happens, what the totality and the eventuality of my life over the next, so even me moving forward. So I'm 52. So what my life will look like, what my story will be for the next 8 years is largely about decisions, behaviours, communication, standards, values, passion, drive, commitment, and what I do with what happens. So the way that I interpret situations, circumstances, environments, people, the way that I deal with things, the way that I explore my talent, my time, my potential, my opportunities, my resources. So it's like we're all writing a story.
Love it. All right. So I'm just going to go, this is your latest
Right.
posted.
Right. Let's hope it's good, because the first two were shit.
Okay, the who am I question.
Right.
You are not a body, bank balance, career, title, religion, asset or academic.
Academic. Speaking of academic, how was grade 4?
Didn't go. And to discover who you are, you must first understand who you are not.
Yeah, that's a little bit Deepak Chopra and or Eckhart Tolle-esque, isn't it? It's a little bit philosophical, but I think so. So my purpose in writing that was just to stimulate people to think about who they are beyond their stuff. So we kind of live, most of us, or a lot of us anyway, in a collective mindset that says who you are is what you do. What you look like, what you have, what you own, what you earn. That's kind of who it's when someone describes, the tall guy, he's the accountant, he's 45, he used to go out with such and such, and here's 10 labels, and that's who he is. He's that guy. And completely understandable that that's the way that we define people, but it's trying to figure out, beyond all of those things, and we touched on this a little bit last week, but beyond my body and beyond my weight and beyond my brand and beyond my income or my earning potential or beyond my PhD, who am I? And, one of the problems or one of the challenges when we find ourselves from a happiness point of view and a contentment and a personal growth point of view is when we find ourselves in things, we're always going to struggle because things can be taken away from us. So identity, in a healthy space, identity works from the inside out, not the outside in. Having said all of that, people think, oh, are you against money and wealth? And of course I'm not, but it depends on the relationship that you have with it.
Yeah.
For me, money's a resource to do stuff, get stuff, change stuff, influence stuff, but that's all it is.
I think we like categories though. It's safety. A mate of mine was telling me a story yesterday. He went to Fiji, and this is when he was like quite big. He sort of has a squarish head. It's part of the story. I'm not just describing his square head.
What's his name?
Neil. So Neil said to me...
Hey, Neil with a square head.
The people of Fiji were like, rugby player? Like, they were trying to categorise him because bodybuilder?
Yeah.
And they were so confused about his look because he was huge, square head, and they were just trying to categorise him because it was like unfamiliar for them. Yeah. But I think my point of it is that we do that with everything. The tool guy, like it's all safety for us.
For sure.
And then you fall into that. Like I know, like for myself, I probably categorise myself because it gives you a place.
Yes.
But so how do you navigate that where you go? How do you pull yourself out of that thinking?
Yeah, that's great. That's a great question. I think, let me give you a really obvious example. So I've worked with lots of, so in my PT career, which was 30 years, I worked with 75% of my clients were women. And women do what I'm about to talk about, and also men. But I worked with a lot of really pretty girls and models and actors and athletes who, some of them, got their identity and their sense of self and their confidence and self-esteem purely from how they looked, right? And that's a really dangerous place to live because you're not always going to look like that. And if you're gorgeous and attractive, well done, that's amazing. And yes, you're pretty, and yes, you've got a great body. Or if we're talking about a guy, yes, you're a good-looking bloke, and yes, you're stacked, and you've got a great rig and some abs and veins, and good on you. But still, that's not you. So, as long as that person gets, as I said before, their sense of who they are from their appearance, they're always going to be insecure because that'll go at some stage.
All right, the big question: Who are you?
Who am I?
Who are you? Because if you can't, you're not allowed to say you're an ex-personal trainer, you're a motivator.
Yeah.
So what do you say? Because I think it's a funny one when you go, we don't want to be saying, okay, I'm a video guy or what are you?
This is, really? Do we have to go here? So I am energy, and I am, in a way, I'm kind of the awareness that understands what I'm not. Now people are going to go, oh my God. But I realise that in some ways I'm all of those things I spoke about. I am a body, I am an emotional system, a spiritual system, a cognitive system, like I'm multi-layered. And I'm all of that, but in some ways I'm none of that. And I think it's trying to, part of this exploration for me has been trying to remove myself from labels and trying to understand why I have this need or why we have this need to identify with something or to belong to something and to be attached to something or part of something or branded with something or pigeonholed in some place rather than just being. And so for me, Eckhart Tolle answers that question, the question that you just asked, and he says, I am the awareness of what I'm not. Yeah. And what I'm not is all of those things.
Just don't say that in the job interview because you probably won't get it.
They'll go, you're a fucking idiot. You're not getting a job at all, you big dick.
All right, I think we've got time for one more.
All right.
Today will come and go, but your words can live in a person's heart and mind forever, for better or worse. Yeah. So speak love, kindness, humility, and tolerance. Yeah. And only speak when necessary. when was the last time you did this? Speak love, kindness, humility, and tolerance. Is this something you try and do?
Yeah.
You're encouraging us to, but...
Yeah, I do. The thing is this. Some people sometimes think because I swear or because, whatever, like I don't anymore, but have a shaved head, or because I ride motorbikes, or because...
It's looking good,
Yeah, thank you very much. Silver fox. I think people think that being loving, we've got to walk around in a caftan and hug people and go, you're awesome and beautiful and amazing. But love comes in all shapes and sizes, and it comes in lots of different forms. So I would rather, let's say you and I are good friends now, so I would rather tell you something that was uncomfortable if I believe it to be the truth, if I believe you're ready to hear it, and if I believe it might empower or help or enable you in some way to learn, grow and evolve, right? And that comes from a place of love and also awareness and, I guess, emotional maturity. But in terms of just telling people, oh, you're awesome, you're amazing, I'm not interested in that, because I think it's superficial bullshit, and I think a lot of people just spew stuff out that's kind of meaningless. So for me, love is largely behavioural. It's largely about what we do. And I wrote another little post the other day which was about, doing something for people that can't pay you back. Don't look for accolades. Don't tell people about it. And that's actually, without getting too weird or religious, that's quite a scriptural or a biblical thing in the New Testament talks about that. And it's just that I'm yet to find a selfish person who's happy. And I'm not going, I'm the poster boy for selflessness. I'm definitely not. I'm still a dickhead on a regular basis. I still stuff things up. I still fall into ego. I still say things that 1 second later I wish I hadn't have said. And because I'm a reasonably good communicator, and because I'm articulate, and because my mind works quite quickly, I have to be really careful, because sometimes I can be funny, I think I'm being funny, and I'm actually going to chop someone in half, or I'm going to be scathing. And so, but that's never my intention. But since I was younger now, I'm a lot more economical with my words when I'm out and about, and I'm a lot more aware of what's coming out of my mouth and the power that those words have. And I'm also well aware of my ability, and all of our ability, to be able to go up to someone and go, you look amazing. Hey, that thing you did? Really, that was awesome. And just, not with all the fluff and crap, but just being real. Say, honestly, I think you did an awesome job. Not trying to make you feel great. I genuinely think you did a great job.
That's it. We're done.
Alrighty.
Episode 2, whiteboard lesson.
Boom. In the can.
Make sure you follow Craigie on Instagram. Whiteboard lessons.
Yeah, that's right. And, when are we starting the cult?
Yes. Well, this is the pre-videos for the cult.
Have we timelined it?
Yeah, we're launching the cult pretty soon.
So the caftan, the tambourines, the sandals, the remote location.
Yes.
It's
very
Are we calling it a cult?
Yes.
I think we should, we spoke about authenticity.
Craig's cult. Pretty straightforward.
Definitely not going to happen.
Cut.